this way, and the development will be done in this way. That is test driven product, and testing will be done continuously, the developer and the testers will be sitting side by side, and requirements will be given in the form of user stories, and designing we are going to do in a simple design way. Okay.
Yeah.
Then next one is Scrum. So Scrum is a methodology which we are going to use at the beginning of the project, or when you sense that the project may go into scope creep. So at that time you can convert into Scrum. That means we can follow Scrum methodology from the beginning of the project. So whenever you start development of the project, you can follow the Scrum. Or if you are doing the project in any other method, and if you feel that the project is going to be under scope creep, then you can convert that into Scrum. Okay, wherein in Scrum the entire project is divided into modules. That means we are going to divide the entire project into small parts which are known as modules, and there will be a Scrum team. So in Scrum there will be nearly 7 to 8 members. Like there will be a Scrum master, there will be testers, there will be developers. So it contains of 7 to 8 members. Okay, and just like extreme programming, in Scrum also we are going to have 8 parameters. So what are those 8 parameters in the sense? The first one is product owner, second one is Scrum master, and third one is Scrum meetings, and fourth one is sprint meetings, and fifth one is sprint backlog, and sixth one is sprint burn down, and seventh one is product backlog, and eighth one is product burn down. So these are the 8 parameters in a Scrum. Now let us see what are these different 8 parameters. The first one is product owner. So product owner is nothing but he is the voice of the customer. So like he is going to decide what should be in the project and what should not be in the project. That means what requirements should be there in the project and what requirements we are not going to consider in the project. That is decided by the product owner. Okay, so he is going to handle the entire product, and product owner is responsible for the success of the project or for the failure of the project, and he is responsible to maintain the budget of the project. Okay, so he is going to mingle with a Scrum masters and development team to develop the product. Then next one is Scrum master. So Scrum master is nothing but just like a leader or coach for a team. Okay, if any member in the Scrum is facing problems, then they are going to approach to the Scrum masters. So Scrum master is going to analyze the performance of a particular employee in the team. So if anyone is having doubts, they will go to the Scrum master and they will clarify the doubts. Okay, and next one is Scrum meetings. So what are Scrum meetings in the sense? These Scrum meetings are also known as daily Scrums or daily stand-up meetings. So every day you are going to have 15 minutes of meeting, which is nothing but daily stand-up meetings or daily Scrums. Okay. In this 15 minutes, we are going to discuss about 3 points. One is what you have done from last Scrum to this Scrum. And second one is, have you faced any problems or obstacles? And third one is what you are going to do in the next Scrum. Okay, so only these 3 points are going to discuss in these Scrum meetings, and it will be for 15 minutes. Okay, and after 15 minutes, whatever you are discussing, it will come to 16th minute meeting. It is known as 16th minute meeting. And in 16th minute meeting, you can discuss anything, whether it is related to your personal life, whether it is related to movies, whether it is related to any issues, or whether it is related to your company, whatever. If you want to discuss about birthday parties, if you want to discuss about something, some other topic, it comes under 16th minute meeting. But within 15 minutes, you need to discuss only on 3 points. That is, what you have done from the last scrum to this scrum, and have you faced any problems in the last scrum, and what we are going to do in the next scrum. Okay, so this is very
Yeah.
important. That is scrum meetings, the difference between the scrum meetings and 16th minute meeting. Okay, whatever we are going to discuss after 15 minutes, that means suppose if you are unable to complete these 3 points within 15 minutes, it will come to 16th minute meeting only. If you are discussing on the third point after 15 minutes also, it will come to 16 minute meeting. Okay, then sprint
Yes.
meetings. Next one is sprint meetings. So sprint meetings will be for every 2 weeks. So generally we are going to have a sprint meeting before starting a sprint. Like we are going to discuss what we need to do within this particular sprint and what we need to develop in this sprint. As I said, iterations. So iterations are nothing but the sprints. Okay. So every 2 weeks we are going to have sprint meeting, and before starting the sprint we will decide. We will have a meeting. So these are the items which we need to complete within this particular sprint in this way. Okay. Then next one is sprint backlog. Sprint backlog is nothing but the list of items that are pending within a sprint. For example, if your sprint is having 10 items, so within that particular sprint, if you have completed only 8 items, then the remaining 2 items are nothing but sprint backlog items. For example, another example is if your sprint is having 30 items, if you have completed only 20 items, then whatever the items that are pending, that is the 10 items, comes under sprint backlog. Okay. Next one is a sprint burn down. A sprint burn down is nothing but completion of all the pending items. Is nothing but sprint burn down. As I said, if there are 30 items in a particular sprint and you are completing 20 items in that sprint, so the remaining 10 items will fall under sprint burn down. And if you are completing that remaining 10 items, then we will say that it has a sprint burn down. Okay. In the same way, there will be product backlog. Product backlog is nothing but the list of items that should be completed within the entire project. Okay. So before starting the project, we are going to list out all the items, all the requirements. So suppose there are 200 requirements. So we are going to keep all those 200 requirements under product backlog. Okay, that is the list of items that should be completed within the particular project. So these all 200 requirements comes under product backlog. And this entire 200 requirements are divided into sprints. Okay, let us say that each sprint is having 10 items or 20 items. It is not mandatory that every sprint should have same number of items. One sprint may have 10 items, second sprint may have 20 items, third sprint may have 30 items. But the duration of the sprint is same. If you are deciding each sprint is 2 weeks, then for 10 items you are going to give 2 weeks. For 20 items you are going to give 2 weeks. For 30 items also we are going to give 2 weeks only. Okay, that is the funda of Scrum. Okay, so product backlog is nothing but the list of items which should be completed within a particular project. And product burn down is nothing but consolidated list of all sprint burn downs. Okay, so if you complete all the sprint burn downs, then we will say that it is a product burn down. So obviously product is nothing but the combination of sprints. So if you are going to complete all the sprints, then we will say that we don't have any pending items. So we will say that it has a product burn down. Okay. So these are the 8 different parameters for a Scrum. So if you want to work under Scrum, we are going to divide the project in this way. That means we are going to divide the team in this way. There will be product owner, there will be Scrum master, and there will be development team. Okay. So the manager, the product owner is going to lead the team. So there won't be any project manager or there won't be any leadership leading the team. So entire team will be self-organized. Self-organized is nothing but you yourself decide what to do. So there won't be anyone to tell you need to do this one or you need to do this one. So entire Scrum team will be self-organized and cross-functional. So self-organized is nothing but you yourself will decide what to do, and cross-functional is nothing but the entire team consists of members who are well versed in different functionalities. Okay. Someone will be very familiar with testing, and someone will be very familiar with development, and someone will be very familiar with BA activities. So that is nothing but cross-functional. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you see
Yeah.
over here, so product backlog is nothing but client prioritized product features. That means whatever the client requesting, saying that my application should have all these features. So that all that features will comes under product backlog. And sprint backlog is nothing but features assigned to a sprint. That means if here it is 20 features, now you are putting 10 features in a sprint. That means nothing but if you are completing 8 features, then two features will be sprint backlog. Estimated by team commitment. So you are giving a commitment of completion of 10 items, but you have completed only 8 items. Okay. And after that, time box test develop and working code ready for deployment. So here you will be having sprint planning meetings. So as I said, there will be sprint meetings. So in that meeting, you will be uh, discussing about review product backlog, estimate sprint backlog, commit. That means what you have done in the last sprint, and in this sprint what you need to develop and how to finish that work. And daily scrums, as I said, done since last meeting, plan for today, any roadblocks or accelerators. It means nothing but what you have done in the last scrum and what you are going to do in this scrum, and have you faced any problems in the last scrum. And sprint review meeting. So after completion of sprint, you are going to have a sprint review. That means demo futures to all, retrospective on the scope adjustments. Okay, these are all the different kinds of activities that you are going to see in a Scrum. Okay, so Scrum is entirely another technology. So like you will be having different certifications. So in BA also, you can go for Agile certification, you can go for Scrum certification, you can go for Scrum Master certification, you can go for Product Owner certification. So these are all different subjects. So if you go for Product Owner certification, then you will come to know what are the entire roles of a product owner, like what he has to do, what he should not do. So while during the development, what kind of action he has to take. If you go for